Hello folks, welcome back to GingerLion's Agrarian Skies modded Minecraft Let's Play. So, I ran into a little bit of issue, and I did a little bit of cleanup work in between episodes, and it has to do with these here trash cans. I found that my ME system was getting kind of plugged up with mushrooms, oak wood, the other kind of mushrooms, with ink sacs, with rubber wood, with nether quartz, of all things, with soy milk, I'm not particularly surprised, and with raw rubber. So, I set me up some level emitters and some export buses, and as you can see, none of those things are in my top list anymore. They're all down around the 5,000 neighborhood, and that makes me happy. I've also, looks like, just kicked over the line of 10,000 nourishing toast. So, let's see how many of those I can fit in my inventory at once. Well, that's going to be a bunch of work when it comes to manual submission time now, isn't it? But let's go do it. So, I guess I could do this automatically, but this is going to be a one-time thing. So, I'm going to go manual submit 17%. I think I could make this just a little bit faster if I dumped this unnecessary stuff out of my inventory. And there we go. So, I'm just going to, real quick, while you guys are watching, turn in this 10,000 toast that I managed to produce. I'm also, as soon as I'm done this, going to go tell my system to stop making toast, because there's no reason now. I mean, I might need it for a couple of other things, but I doubt they're going to be anything significant. Not in the 10,000 neighborhood, obviously. What else have I been doing? Well, I've been sort of thinking about what my next major steps are, and I honestly think it's just about time for me to go do a little bit of nether exploration, which, given how, well, let's be blunt, how inept I am at combat and other similar things, means that I better get myself really well prepared. Part of that preparation was that I just recently took my pickaxe and added silk touch to it. I'm going to go with this reward bag. Let's see what we got. That's a valid heart, a reward bag in a greater, and a reward bag in epic. Let's toss this toast back in here. Let's get my wand back. Let's get my pick back. See, I added silk touch to it. My thermometer, Nomicon, and my crescent hammer. Rarely without my crescent hammer. So, consume that heart, check this reward bag. Purple heart, rosewood, and amaranth wood, not bad. And blackout curtains, cursed earth, and a division sigil currently inactive. That is a much nicer reward than you might think, and it speeds up my plans for building myself a mob spawner. I think I may very well do that before I go to the nether. Blackout curtains are great, easy to make. Division sigil. I'm not even going to play with the division sigil. Those of you who've seen it before probably know it's a little bit dangerous, but it can make some really amazing things. So, let's see, what else do I have on my quest list that I feel like I could reasonably turn in? Let's see. Tomatoes. I need 10,000 tomatoes. I think I'm up in the 4,000 neighborhood, which isn't bad. First, I need myself some food. Now, I have 5,000 tomatoes, which is about halfway there. Not bad. I could deposit it now, but no need to. Lettuce, I need 50,000 lettuce. Nowhere near that. Most important meal, I could probably program in the hearty breakfast right now. So, let's see. What does it need, and what do I have? Hearty breakfast. It's going to require some juices. And other than possibly apples, I don't have almost anything that's juiceable. But I have 3,000 apples, so that should be fine. Let's just go ahead and make these hearty breakfasts. First, I'm going to want... How many have I need 100 hearty breakfasts. And how's my toast situation? Rapidly approaching that. So, let's get to work on the other things. I can use firm tofu. Good. What's the egg situation? For fried egg, I can use... okay. So, I'm going to go back up to my main crafting terminal. Since I'm doing this all by hand as opposed to automatically teaching my machine to make it, mostly because I'm wasting a little bit of time while a little bit more toast gets produced. This seems like a pretty easy thing to me. I want some skillet and some tofu. Let's make 2 stacks of fried eggs. Cool. Next, I need potato cakes. How much of this do I have? I have plenty of potatoes, I have plenty of onions, and what I need for potato cakes after that is butter, which I believe I can make using tofu in just a moment. There. Let's make more salt. Craft a bunch of salt for me, please. I know why that's a problem, because we don't have any buckets of water. You know what? It's time for me to make another tool. Let me take a little fun detour on this one. MFR Liquid Crafter? Nope, that's not what I want. Where is it? This. The ME Fluid Crafting Chamber. So I need 2 of these. And I need some more of these. Let's make 10. Come on. All of that should be easy. Well, then let's go about this the manual way. I want this. That's why. So, now, I want one of these. I would like one of these. I don't have any of the things I need to make that. So let's see, 2 of these. Easy. A crafting table itself. That's easy also. Now, what else did I need? Yes, a storage cell. Now I should be able to make the pattern provider. Good. Done. How close am I? I still need a pair of conversion matrices. I thought I just made 2 of those. Maybe they're being used up by something else. There we are. ME Fluid Crafting Chamber. Now, I've never used this, but my understanding is that it works very, very much like a standalone version of the crafting CPU. So, give me just a moment to figure out exactly how its processes work, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now, the directions I have claim this should work. I've pulled all the recipes out that require water, and I'm just going to put them in... Nope, it doesn't look like I can do it that way. So I was wrong about that. Let's grab ourselves a bucket of water. And... hey look, it does work. 1 bucket of water equals 4 fresh water. And these are set with fresh water. So, theoretically, that may be why these did not go in here. Yeah, they don't know how to operate with just water. But I'm pretty sure that if I edit these recipes to just operate with water, they should still be true in code. And this one. that's just intended to be a little more efficient. So if I toss these in here, theoretically, if I go over here and ask for salt, it's already made 36, but let's tell it I want 200. That does not seem to be operating the way I would expect it to. I'll be right back once I figured this out. And I found a really significant problem with this, which is this. It makes the recipe just fine. The problem is, it uses up the pot in the process. So, I am not going to be using the Fluid Crafter for this job. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is... well, let's see if I can use this to make buckets of water. Nope. What's the freshwater recipe? The recipe for this is just a bucket of water. So let's see if I can make these in a reasonable fashion. Clear this out, this, and code. Make 100 of these. Okay, it makes those acceptably. So, I'm going to switch the rest of the recipes over to using just that. Let's see if that works. So, 1 freshwater from a bucket. That I already put in there, and I don't need it anymore. Toss it in as a blank. Good. Next, 1 dough from all of these things, except that I'm going to explicitly state that I want it to use that. Toss that in here. There's dough. And finally, the recipe for salt, which is what started this whole thing. I'm going to tell it that it's that, not that, encoded. And put that in there. Put that up. Clear this. And where was I? Ah, yes. I wanted to make... see if this will make 100 dough. Begin. I think it's all being sucked into a furnace down below, which is why it's not quite showing up here. So, where am I at? I'm good with toast. So, now, I was making the hearty breakfast, and I wanted potato cakes, and that meant I wanted butter. And there's the butter recipe. So, yeah, it's definitely using up the salt. But it is not making the salt the way that I want it to. Ah, it doesn't have a pot anymore because it got destroyed. This disadvantage of mod integration. Sometimes things just don't work the way you want them to. There we are. Now we have a pot. Not anymore. Something is destroying that pot, and I'm not happy with it. Maybe I just need a dozen pots so that I can run a dozen recipes at the same time. Let's find out. Let me just... Pam's Harvest Craft. Is it Pam's? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Let's take a look at skillet. I do have a skillet, but let's make another one just so that I have two. These are easy things for me to have right now. Two more saucepans. Two more mixing bowls. Two more cutting boards. Two more bakeware. Sure. Let's see. Two more juicers. Nope, I don't have the necessities for that. That's fine. So, maybe this will get me closer. Where's my salt situation up here? I now have lots of salt. Apparently a bunch of pots made it a lot faster. Who knew? So, hearty breakfast again. Where am I at in terms of hearty breakfast construction? I have not made potato cakes, at least not in sufficient quantity, have I? I basically haven't made much of anything. Okay, so let's start with the potato cakes. And that was butter. I don't know why I was having a problem with butter. So silken tofu instead of firm tofu. That sort of makes sense. Now I have plenty of butter. Now, let's put this meal together. Potato pancakes. And I have not juiced anything at all. So let's put the juicer and then apple together. That wasn't what I wanted. Let's make 2 stacks of these. Let's try this again, like so. 1, 2 stacks. And hey look, some free glass bottles out of the deal. I'd heard that was a little glitch related to such things. So, now, that got a little more complicated than I liked, but manual submit, right hand bag, claim reward, 2 more hearts, bing bing, 34, and an epic quest reward bag. More V-Decor. That's fine. I think I have... No, I don't have any more V-Decor around. I'll just go ahead and toss this all back in the system. And take a look at what else that I have that's questable. How am I at here? 76% and 15% on sewage. Good. 1,000 plates of spaghetti and meatballs. What is that gonna take? You know what? This one I'm gonna program. This is a spaghetti and a firm tofu. Okay. So now the recipe on the spaghetti. I don't have pasta yet, but I have spice leaves. I bet I can make pasta. Pasta is butter, dough, and a mixing bowl. And I'm pretty sure I've already taught my system how to make butter. Is that correct? I've taught it how to make. That's bronze ingots. That's nothing related to butter. I have not, so I might as well come in here. Recipe for butter. Let's get the one with tofu and the salt that I know I have. There. So, have a whole bunch of blank space in here still. Let's see if it works. Start with 1. Done. So, let's go ahead and make 999 more. Those are a lot of crafting steps involved there, and you'll notice that I'm getting 2 or 3 a second. That's the advantage of having built such a huge processor in the process of making these. It's going to slow down a little bit when it runs out of easily made dough or when it runs out of easily made salt, but that's fine. So, while that ticks away, let's go see what else trouble I can make. Aged juice. I'm going to need 10,000 vinegar, and that means I basically need 10,000 juice. I don't have anywhere near that many apples. What else do I have? I don't have any melons. I can make carrot juice, I believe. Am I correct? Yes, I am. And then, if I'm correct, what is the method of making vinegar? What's the recipe for vinegar? It's a whole array of juices with a pot. Let me grab myself a pot, I should now have plenty of, and see if I can turn carrot juice into vinegar. I can. That's too bad. Looks like my solution is, let's see, is there anything else that I have in the 10,000 range that's justifiable? Nope. So, it looks like I'm going to have to figure out how to get myself a whole bunch more fruit, and I have plenty of fruit tree saplings over there, just haven't had the urge to put them down. We had problems with surf and turf before, so I'm not even going to touch it. So, that's Hell's Kitchen. Steel power. I have made this book. Where did I put it? Was it over here? It was. So, let's go ahead and do that recipe, that quest. Manual submit, and Yellorium dust or graveyard soil. I want Yellorium dust more. Got me back the book that I just handed in, a quarter of a heart. Let's see what my heart situation is in here. None. That's fine. Some scorched brick. Good. Yellorium dust. You know what to do with that. And a quest reward bag. Creepy doll. Angry doll. Sure. I doubt I'll ever use them, but they at least exist. And it's one more quest down. What's next? Next is High Oven Hijinks. I need scorched bricks and scorched duct. And I have everything that I need to do that. If I'm correct, this is the recipe for scorched duct. It is. And this is the recipe for scorched bricks. Done. Let's take a look at this. It's going to give me some more scorched bricks and either scorched bricks or graveyard soil. I don't need any more scorched bricks, so graveyard soil it is. Not quite sure what I can use graveyard soil for. I can smelt it into consecrated soil. Well, I'm going to have to do research on that. Let's put these all up in my system and open my next quest reward bag. It's good, so we'll see what's good. Chicken jerky. Cool. Chicken jerky it is. Next quest. Requires one quest to be completed somewhere else. Now, I need to make one deep tank controller and one full set of steel armor. Well, I've got plenty of steel. Let's make ourselves steel armor. There's one full set of steel armor, and what is the recipe for the Deep tank controller. Scorched bricks, 8 of them. Do I have that many left? I have exactly that many left. Perfect. And 1 lapis converts the recipe to a deep tank controller. Perfect. 2 more quests. Claiming my reward there. And claiming my reward there. I don't have this yet, and I don't know exactly why, but let's see what else is going on. Learning to skyblock. I'm willing to bet, because I have not yet done this set of quest lines, because I really am not very good at combat most of the time, until I'm totally prepared, I guess. I haven't done so. Well, that's fine. I thoroughly admit to my weaknesses and my strengths. I'm a builder and not a fighter. Engineers can help make the world go round, if they're done right. So a basic and a good quest reward bag. Nothing spectacular. 1 spiked axe and a whole bunch of music discs. I don't really feel like tossing a whole bunch of music discs into my AE system. They just clutter the place up. I doubt I'll ever use these, but hey, they're here. And I already have a lumber axe that I'm doing a lot of good with, so I think I'm going to leave that alone. Go with the flow. Let me, once again, anything in here that I feel like I can put a hurt on? I'm collecting mob essence. But I don't know how many buckets of it I have. Let's go find out. Gonna be green. I have 93, and I need 160. So, next episode. Nothing there. For the hoarding. No, not there. For the hoarding. Soul sand, cobble gen, sand. I have a lot of sand right now. I already did that quest. No wonder. I had plenty of sand before. An iceberg. I'm using up my ice faster than I'm making it. Nope. This I really want to do. In fact, that may be an episode coming extraordinarily soon. Let's see what else is in this quest set. So, I have made myself an alchemical furnace, an arcane alembic. I made these things. I made 2 of these. They're going to be manual submits, and I want to keep mine. So, I'm going to step off camera, and I'm going to build these items, and I'll be right back when I submit this. Okay, folks, so, got that done, and now let's go submit them. Manual submit, claim my reward, full heart, and a greater reward bag. Nice. And it is a writing pick, which I think I have one of those already in the chest with no interest in using it. Yeah, I do. Another stone-bound, thaumic writing pick. It's not a horrible thing by any means, don't get me wrong. It's got a thaumic bounding, it's got a paper head, it's got a netherrack tool rod, but given that what I'm swinging right now has a manualin head, an obsidian binding, and a slime tool rod, this is just a better pickaxe. Plus, I've raised its level to master. It's got auto repair, haste, and silky on it. And it's just no need. No need. So, where are we next? I already have a great wood sapling. And I'm going to go with a yellow heart canister. That got me another of each of the saplings, a good heart, and let me show you about these heart canisters. By the way, I'm about to make a bunch of these because I think I can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make all the things that I need. No, I don't have any miniature red hearts. No. So, I guess I can't make any of these. What I can do, however, is take the one that I've got and put it in here. And what it does, if you... And a potion flask, another flight potion flask. Now, if you see my hearts down below, you'll notice that I have half of a yellow heart over and above my existing hearts. Now it's a full heart. That's the effect of that yellow heart canister. That's a great thing. More health, literally. Essentia tube, filtered essentia tube, and essentia valve. Zombie brain and a jar. I can make all of these things. Wow, it wants me to make a full array of golems to get back 4 wood golems, and some heart canisters. These are not all bad things, but wow, it's asking a lot. So, do I have essentia tubes? I have 6 of them. Now, if I look at the Thaunomicon, let's see how hard these are going to be to make. I would like, probably here in alchemy, a Viz filter becomes a filtered, and 2 stone makes, I don't want restricted, I don't want directional. Let's go back, take a look if there are, a lever and an essentia tube. That will be simple. Lever and an essentia tube here makes me for the essentia valve that I needed, and I would like another Viz filter, which is gold ingots and a silverwood log. To sort that a little bit. There we go. These here, 1 Viz filter, combine it with an essentia tube. That gets me a filtered essentia tube, and there's that quest completed. So, do I want entropy shards, golem entropy shards, please? Well, actually, let me be sure. I might have a lot of shards. I have lots of entropy shards already. Never mind. I think, then, golem animation cores are more valuable to me. Full heart. Good. And a greater bag. Full set of imp-skin armor with feather falling, blast protection, fire protection. The fire protection may be the most valuable things about that armor. So, for the moment, I'm tossing it in my system along with what I've got right now. Okay, so I think that's all the quest rewards I can do there. I think I'd already decided to skip Hell's Kitchen. I can't unlock this yet, and I don't have any clue why. Except the only thing that I can think of is that in learning to Skyblock, I'm going to need to get down to all of this complete before I can move forward. So, I guess the thing that I need to do right now is build an auto brewer, and that means that I'm going to have to do a little bit of combat. You know what? I don't need quests done quite that badly, so what I'm going to do is this. I am going to put together the things that I need to change my mob handling process completely, and I'll be right back once I've done so. Hi again, folks. So, I made a little bit of a change while I was gone, and the reason is this. If you look in the upper right, you'll notice that I've changed my map layout. What I actually did was install Map Writer instead of Zan's Minimap. And it was really for one specific purpose. It was this. I would like to change the overlay of this to slimes, because I would like to build if I hit F9 twice, I would like to build in a slime chunk. And it looks like this chunk that I have right here is a slime chunk, and the next chunk is that way. So I think what I'm going to do is build my platform over there. And because I'm kind of tired of the, like normal building methodology, I'm going to do this. I have some of these blood magic flight potions, and I'm going to use one of them. And that gave me almost 20 minutes of creative mode flight, which is going to make it a lot easier to do what I intend to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to get myself somewhere where I feel like I can punch through, which is probably here. And get myself some power cable and some ME cable, run through to the underworld here. But because what I'm about to do, by the way, so when you build mob spawners, and you use grinders for them as opposed to the the methodology that I was using, which involved falling death or punji sticks or whatever, you end up producing a lot of equipment. Bows, armor, hammers, all the things that, sorry, not hammers, swords, all the things that mobs carry around with them that you don't normally get a hold of when you use, punji sticks or whatnot, but that you do get if you kill them by hand. And so when you're using the mob grinder, what's it here? The grinder, you're going to get those items, which I haven't been up till now. It means that I'm going to have to deal with those items. A lot of them are damaged, most of them are not particularly usable, and they will clutter up an AE system extremely quickly. So, I'm going to set up a third ME network, specifically for handling, or sub-network as you were, specifically for handling those items so that I don't have to deal with them all the time, so instead they're sort of automatically handled. Now, if you're working with these flight potions, it's very important to every occasionally open up your inventory at least and take a check to make sure you're not about to fall out of the sky, because, that would suck. So let's see, I think that I'm going to build off of this platform down here. So, now, I had said that I want a slime chunk. The reason that I want a slime chunk clearly has to do with me wanting slimes to grow, to spawn in this area. So I need to build underneath the level where slimes grow. And I know that's under 30, but to make sure that all of the space that I'm building in is well under that, I decided to go down to 17. So, as you can see, this is a heck of a lot easier than me trying to, for example, noob tower up on top of these ME cables or on top of these power cables. This is just a much faster and easier way of getting this kind of thing down here. Building the platform itself, well, I'll be 100% honest, I'm going to be working with obsidian and a builder's wand, so it's going to be very quick. I should have brought torches, and I did not. Let me go quickly up here and get myself some torches. No point in building a platform and having monsters spawn on it when I don't want them to. Looks like there's 64 torches left. I'm running out of those. That's okay. So, I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to build this platform. And then once I've got this platform built, I'm going to show you exactly how I want it laid out. Do I want to go down? I want to go down here, not up there. So yeah, I'm going to finish this build out, at least the basics of it, get the platform built, get my minor things set up, and then I'm going to come back and show you the details of how I want my new mob spawner to operate, and why I'm going through all the effort to make a new mob spawner other than slimes, rather than just revamping the one I have above. I'll see you back in a minute, folks. Okay, folks, so here's my basic layout and design. What I'm doing is I'm using red net cables underneath the floor. I'm putting glowstone illuminators, which are a thermal expansion product. The recipe for that is basically energized glowstone, which is 5 pieces of glowstone, I believe. Yeah, 4. 4 pieces of glowstone in an illuminator frame, which is hardened glass surrounded by silver nuggets and redstone. Easy. The advantage to these is they can be turned on and off. Let me show you real quick. That's darkness, and that's light. Just exactly the way I wanted it. Now, the next element of the build is that I'm going to, right in line with each of these glowstone illuminators, on this wall and this wall, but one above, I am going to set up MFR grinders. Oops, well, I guess if I set them from the outside, they would work better. But I have my crescent hammer, so rotate that around. The rest of them I'll place from the outside. You know what? I have flight on right now. Why am I even... How much longer do I have? 5 minutes and 56 seconds remaining. That's easy. So, now, the final thing is a little bit... Well, I haven't tested it. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work like I have been told it will, but even if it doesn't, my grinder will still be very nice. So, what I'm going to do is, I have 16 of this cursed earth, and I'm going to put 8 of it on each level. Where would I like to put it? I think sort of near the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The advantage of these arms sticking out is that when I fill in the rest of the area with dirt, it's got maximum contact. Now, my understanding is that definitely when you do the ritual that can create this cursed earth, which is activating the inactive division sigil, which I have one of, but I don't need to activate it, because I was given cursed earth in a book, in a quest reward. I know that at that point in time, cursed earth will spread on dirt blocks nearby. Now, my understanding is that it continues to spread as long as there's darkness, and in this environment, I'm going to be surrounding it with darkness a lot of the time. So, it's entirely possible that this cursed earth will spread to these dirt blocks. If it does, then I gain the advantage of cursed earth. The advantage of cursed earth being this. Cursed earth spawns mobs much faster and much better than simple darkness does. It's a mob spawning block. In fact, if you go and do research on it, I think it spawns mobs 3 or 4 times faster than they would otherwise given circumstances. So, I'm going to use that to my distinct advantage in that I'm going to have a mob spawner that works better and faster than it would if I just use darkness. If the cursed earth spreads, then I have even that much more advantage. If it doesn't, at least I still have a good mob spawner down here. So, now, I'm going to build this 2 levels tall, so I'm going to disappear off camera for just a little bit and try to get this done before I run out of flight. Okay, folks, so here's the inside. I've basically set up the same up above. I'll go show you. See, same setup. To get rednet cable up without it going inside and blocking off a potential spawning location, what I did was I made a sort of a wire chase up the outside here. It's sort of a little turret. And I put the rednet cable in here. If I flip this switch, it's kind of dangerous for me to do so, so it'll be quick, shuts off all of those lights, and mobs can begin spawning. Now, with the cursed earth there, mobs can begin spawning while I'm in the neighborhood, so I had to come up here and check. So, now, I am going to do the work necessary to get power into all of these and handle item and liquid outs, which is probably going to involve a little bit of making the structure not as clean. What I mean by that is this. These grinders produce mob essence, they produce the items that the mob would have produced, and they require power, which means that I need 3 connectors to them, 1 fluid import bus, 1 power cable, like I'm putting down right now, and 1 chest, which is going to have a ME import bus attached to it. So, now that all this area is lit up and I've got all of the basics, I'm going to go upstairs and get myself cables and chests and import buses and all that fun stuff and come set this stuff up, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, folks, so I connected all of my various buses, import buses, etc. And what I realized was that because of the fluid import bus needing to be connected to each one of these grinders, that I could build some big complicated structure on the outside and attempt to hide all these wires so that I had as little light as possible leaking in, or I could just put that there. So I'm using up 8 squares of possible grinding and mob spawning, but I don't think it will be an issue. So just wanted to show you that before I finish putting this whole thing together. Okay, folks, so I finished my build out down there, and I want to very quickly show you how I want to set up my build out up here. And once it gets running for a little while, I'll more easily be able to show you why I did this, but trust me, I have a very valid reason for it. So, first thing that I'm going to do is put down the brain of my new system, my ME controller. I would like an ME drive for data storage, and in that I'm putting 1K storage drives. That's because I'm going to store a lot of items, but not many of each type. In fact, often one of each type. And a 64K storage because we're going to be getting a lot of mob essence, which is very valuable to me, so I want to make sure that I can store a huge amount of it. Now, I want the access terminal. I need to keep my crescent hammer. It's my iconic tool almost. Okay, that network works, and it's got 44 cable attached to it. Sounds like I didn't do a good job of connecting it to the import or export buses. So, we'll see what I did wrong there in just a minute. But I also want to put down the fluid terminal while I'm here. So let's go see what I messed up down below. No, it's got 44 cable attached to it, which means that it's definitely attached to this lime green cable that I have running down here. Yep, I knew I skipped a step. So actually, let me show you guys what I built. It's a little bit different than, well, a little bit more complicated than you last saw it. So on each floor, I have myself a dark glass window. Dark glass is pretty easy to make. Dark glass is made of blackout curtains and thickened glass. Blackout curtains are really nothing more than wool, which I made from string. And thickened glass is sandy glass cooked. Sandy glass is 2 glass and 2 sand. A very easy recipe. What this glass does is even if there's light out here, which there is, it's not able to get in there. It sort of blocks light in between. And so I also set up one floor here and another floor here where I can get to the same thing, and moved my switch from down there to up here so that I can more easily access it. Now, and I built this elevator tower just so that I can easily get between layers. So I need some of this here green cable because that's what I'm using for this network, and I'm actually going to run it right on top of this stuff. I'm a little nervous, of course, because I'm working over the void, but anyone who spends any period of time playing with Agrarian Skies gets sort of used to the idea that they might, be standing over the void while they're doing relatively otherwise simple work. Okay, so here, and I guess because of that, I don't need that. My bad. Connected. There. Now let's go upstairs to this. And it has the import buses and the export buses. It has some gunpowder from a test run, and it has some mob essence. So that means all of that is connected and working, which is great. Now, I would like to get a lot of, actually let me eat a little food while I talk. I would like to get a lot of things out of this system into my main system. There are a lot of things that I similarly don't want to get out of my main system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself an interface right here that's connected to my main system, and then I'm going to put a storage bus here that's going to be connected to my lime system. And I'm going to set this storage bus to output only. Insert only, sorry. I'm going to set its priority to 20, which is good. That'll mean that it's the highest priority place to write things, and it's only going to accept the things I put on this list. And I'm going to start with gunpowder. And so all of the gunpowder should have just, been exported. And if I toss one more gunpowder in, it's immediately sent into my main system. Means that for the moment, only gunpowder will be sent out. And I'm going to do a very similar thing with fluids, except that I can't quite set it up yet. I can set up the detail, the basics though. So I want a fluid import bus, say from here. That should be fine. Fluid import bus facing down. Down? No. I'm going to wrench it till it... I don't like this at all, actually. Let me completely redesign it. Or just move the cable, really. I am going to set it up right here, because I want to work with a tank placed here. This tank, I would like to import fluids from... I hope I can do that correctly, from my main network, purple cable. And I'd like to export network stuff to it, and just to make it be lime, I'm going to insert an unnecessary lime cable in the way. There we go. Now it's lime. Now, as soon as I have enough mob essence to fill up a bucket, I can come in here and tell this to export the mob essence, and that should allow mob essence to flow to my system. So let's go downstairs and turn this beastie on. That's going to be right here. Flip this switch, and if I look in here, well, I don't know if mobs are going to spawn with me standing this close, but let's find out. I also still don't know if that cursed earth is going to spread like I'd like it to. I just heard a hiss in there. Nope. I hear noises. Yeah, I saw a little puff of smoke that indicates something just died. So, let's go upstairs and see what's happening at our system, because we don't need to stand here and watch this operate. Hey, look. String and arrows. Those are things that should be exported to my main system. String, arrows. Simple. And let's see what we have in terms of mob essence. We have 2 buckets worth. So let me go get an empty bucket and test the next piece. Yeah, 1 empty bucket should do just fine. This is now going to be set to export mob essence into this, which you'll note it flickers up and down. And full 0, 400, 0, 400, 0. It is exporting, and I'm actually going to turn this up so that it exports as much mob essence as it possibly can. I'm going to turn this so that it imports as much mob essence as possible. And theoretically, if I go to my main building, which is the only other place I have a fluid interface, and take a look, I now have mob essence, and I've got 140 buckets of it. That's because I had been producing some by killing cows. So I now have all of my mob essence exported into this system, so I can access it and use it in other ways over here. So I'm going to let that grinder down there run just for a little while and see if anything goes wrong, and I'll be back. So here we are, folks. I'm busy sucking the last of the items out. I was using import buses on top of my barrels so that anything that got dumped in there would end up immediately in my ME system. And now I have this barrel, this chest in place, and it's acting as my anything out of my old mob spawners ending up in there. This is a temporary solution. It was just allowing me to remove this trash can and all of the things leading up to it in order to get all of my items in my system instead of some of them stored externally. I'm going to be tearing down this mob spawner. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's the next thing that I'm going to do. And as you see, this system seems to be, I mean, it's not working perfectly. I notice that a lot of my like gunpowder and whatnot will end up in here for a short period of time before being exported out to there. I'm not 100% sure why yet, but I will diagnose it and work on it. This is priority 1. This is priority 20. This should be the primary storage location for all those things. These items, these chest plates, bows, etc., are the reasons why I set this buffer system up, because I don't want these clogging up my main system. So, I just have to decide if it's worth me trying to rip protection enchants and power enchants and etc., the random enchants that occur off these before I destroy them, or if they're just going to get destroyed. So, I'll be back in a little bit. I think I'm going to head upstairs and destroy my old mob spawner, which is going to take a little while. So actually, let me check and see what state we're in. Just a moment, folks. Okay, so we're up to 56 minutes on this episode, so I think I'm going to call this a wrap. When you come back next episode, I will have finished removing my old mob spawner. We'll be working exclusively on this new mob spawning system, and I'm hoping somewhere in soon I'll begin getting a couple of the little red hearts that occur in this, that occur from this mob spawning that do not occur otherwise, because let me just show you why I did most of this work. Heart. These little miniature hearts that come from killing mobs have no recipe. However, they can be used to make heart canisters. I don't have the things, the necrotic bones and whatnot that I need to make these red heart canisters. However, I do have the, if I get the yellow hearts, interesting. Yellow heart canister and green heart canister. The recipes for both of these have just changed in the latest update to keep me from being able to get these quite so easily. That's very interesting to me. So, I may very well have to rethink how I'm going to get myself some extra hearts. But, let me just look. Can I make these? That I can. Can I make these? No, I'm going to have to kill some wither skeletons. Jeweled apples, those I can create. So I might be able to make myself some red heart canisters as soon as I get some of them out of my system. So, like I said, I'm going to wrap this episode here, and when we come back next time, we'll see if it's been any more successful.